Hi everybody and welcome to Hex Token channel, your host Superman in the house. In this video we're going to look at a price prediction for Hedron leading up to the big Hex HSI auctions starting in on the 13th of November. Only about 22 days away. So we're going to check that out. We're going to look at it at a couple of perspectives, so hopefully you're going to enjoy that. So this is the whole Hedron chart there on the USDC, and of course gives us a nice perspective. Obviously it's a smaller liquidity pool compared to the Hex USDC, which is the big one. I think it's about 2.3 million liquidity in there. So we're going to have a look at the Hedron USDC and, of course, see its different angles here. So this is just the raw chart by itself, and we're going to overlay some TA numbers on here, TA structure, I should say, technical analysis, and have a look at where this might head to. Now, let's add in some of the structure here, and you can see we're adding in quite a bit of information. And of course, this here's what we've got here. We've got a nice little uptrend at the moment. This is on a linear chart as opposed to a log chart. Log chart's typically better for the longer term, but we're going to start off with the linear chart here. And of course, you can see the uptrend support here looking really, really good. So that's pretty cool. Let's scroll that down here at the moment. Actually, I might scroll that back up a little bit there before we get into all the detail. We can see that we've got a certain number of days left here. This is the current price action at the moment. We had quite a nice move today up to 4,473. That's got 4 zeros in front of it, of course, and 5 zeros in front of it, I should say. And we've got currently the low of the day, which is currently at the moment is 5 zeros 4267. So 4,267, and we're currently on that moment. So a bit of a little selling in here at the moment, and of course that works in pretty perfectly for where we're heading. So in the future, if we scroll this up a bit closer, we can see that we've got the Fibonacci mechanism added overlay, which is this color lines here, gives us an idea of the price. And of course, moving forward, we want to keep this uptrend. So this uptrend is looking really good. As you can see, we haven't got that too far away to go until we get to the actual big HSI auctions, which is about 21 days away. Now, there's over 6,000 6,000 HSIs that have been sold to the COSA contract will go in liquidation after this period. A big number of them, I think possibly up to 2,500 or just over 2,500 is on the first day there. And of course, the very big ones, a lot of the very big ones are then going to be liquidated then. I think it's something like 90 HSIs that are very large, over 1 million, and something close to about 200 million hex there. It's going to be up for grabs in those T-share stakes. So it's going to be a pretty big deal. And of course, the first week's going to be pretty good. And then within the first 2 weeks, there's quite a bit of stuff coming out. And then later in December, there's quite a bit coming out in December as well. So it's not just November, but December, there's quite a few HSIs going to be in auctions there, particularly around just before Christmas. Around the 18th of December. So it's quite a lot of stuff happening there. That's exciting the market, of course. People want to bid Hedron. They need Hedron to bid on those. And of course, we're expecting a Poly Maximus team with Dipcatcher and Gold Key to be launching their retail bidding pool and staking pool there in early November. They're going to be minting the Poly token, getting ready for that bidding auction on the 13th of November. So it's a pretty big deal. Now, so given that what's happening on the green line there, that is the start of the HSI auctions, and it's going to keep running into time. The first big day, the 13th, is the big day, though. That's where all the big HSIs and a lot of the big valuable HSIs are going to be up and running on that first day. We're going to see a good chance, a good probability. So we're playing probability here, not certainty. So remember, nothing in this video is investment advice, just my opinion and just reading the charts as they are. And so at the moment, we're looking pretty good here. At the moment, we've got a higher low after retracing back from here, our local low. We got to 6,310. We came all the way down to 2,500. And then we managed to come back up here to 4,600. Came back down to 3,387. So we're taking the Fibonacci from the top of this line at 6,300 down to the bottom there at 2,500. And of course, we have managed to bounce back here up to the 50 mark at the moment, so 50%. And of course, I suspect that by the time we move into November, so this is the end of October here, by the time we end here, that we have a very good chance of going into the golden pocket. And that is what we call between the 61.8 Fibonacci and the 65. And of course, you can see that's in yellow there. It's kind of the golden pocket there. And we have a good chance of getting into that zone here. Now, this line here is the Fed interest rate hikes. It's probably most likely going to be 75 basis points. And we will be watching that pretty closely. That means we're going to have a little bit of, the news stories, the news cycle coming into here, a little bit of drama in there, and of course the interest rates itself. But they're kind of expected. And anything that's even lower than 75, imagine if we got 50 basis points, maybe because of the midterms, and that would be even more bullish. But absorbing the 75, I think the market will be able to do that. November is potentially the most vulnerable month coming up in terms of the markets with that interest rate rise, really. Then, of course, coming into the 10th of November, just before the 13th, we have the inflation data coming out. And in between this cycle, a couple of days earlier, we have the unemployment data coming out as well. So those are the three big items that may impact the market. And that inflation rate, of course, you're wanting that to come in. That'll be the inflation for October coming in there, and you want that to go down from 8.2. If that comes down, that's going to be bullish for the market as well. So a lower interest rate hike, bullish for the market. Softer inflation, bullish for the market. Maybe a bit of a pullback in employment and maybe slightly higher unemployment, ironically, better for the market. So we'll see how those play out. That's kind of the environment that we're swimming in. Obviously, the excitement is going to grow as we move into the HSI auctions coming up on the 13th. And like I say, it's about, 21 days, 22 days away. About 21, 3 weeks away, let's say. And of course, heading into the end of October, I think we have a good chance of getting into the golden pocket. So it's kind of my first price prediction into there. If we have a look at the rolling averages here, we definitely got a bounce here in the 9 exponential moving average. Exponential kind of weights the most recent prices here. So if we've got this is the orange line here is in is the 9-day exponential moving average, and the 21-day is in this red line here. And of course, you can see that that's bounced off. So we're looking pretty bullish there in the near term. And I think that bodes pretty well as we lead up and towards the end of the month. And of course, the interest rate rises on the 2nd of November. Now, it's going to be a bit rocky in here in terms of getting up to this golden pocket between these lines. So that's between 4,800 and pretty much just under 5,000. So that's kind of in that zone there, 4,800 to 5,000. And we'll see how we get on. But that's kind of the first target there in the near term. Then I think we just have to absorb that interest rate hike. And then, of course, I think we're going to get a pretty strong rally into the end here. So let's just scroll that up there and see where we could end up going. Now, obviously, at our local previous high that we had was 6,300. I think we have a good chance of blowing past that. All-time high is this yellow line up here, and we got up to, of course, 7,270. And of course, if we scroll the chart back, you can see the previous top. That was when we did that 12x return after launching on Hedron. And of course, we could definitely have a go at breaking this all-time high. So I think that these two targets definitely looking pretty good. I think we could get some pretty serious candles, but like we did back here on the 10th of March and so forth. We got some big movements, and that is in play. So those local high and the all-time high definitely in target here as we move into these final days. So how high might we actually go if we zoom on here? I think we could get to, so we're talking about reaching the golden pocket before the October, and a good chance we could get into there. That's kind of the more of a safer zone there. But of course, getting up to this is called the golden ratio, the 1.618. And this is up at 8,649. So that would mean that we're blowing past the all-time high and we're heading up towards the golden ratio. So from the golden pocket in the short term before end of October, and then up, potentially up into the golden ratio at 8,649. That's kind of where I think we could possibly get to. Now, there is always the chance that we could do some super moves higher. If the FOMO is really real and potentially loses zero, that would get us to 4 zeros or get us up to 12,435. That would be a ratio of 2.618 here on the Fibonacci. That's definitely possible. This orange line here is the 10,000 line, so that's getting rid of 5 zeros, moving down to 4 zeros on the decimal place. And of course, you can see that on the right-hand side here. So that would be pretty bullish. That's kind of where we are at the moment. And so if we look at the RSI, we've got a bit of room to move here on the RSI as well, meaning that we've got some room to move. And of course, this could zigzag up around here, pullback maybe around the turn of the month when we get the interest rate rises. Got the DMI here looking pretty good as well with the buyers in control. So I think that looks good as well. So that's kind of some of the key indicators there. Looking at the Bollinger Bands, we are pretty much riding up towards the top of the Bollinger Bands here, and that's looking good too. So these Bollinger Bands at the bottom 5% and top 95% of the price range, we're currently riding towards the top there as well. So it's all looking pretty good, folks. Fundamentals, the TA, of course, the big, what do you call it? The big carrot, as it were, is the HSI auctions coming up. And of course, we also have Poly Maximus in the beginning of beginning of November, potentially launching its Poly. And of course, that's going to bring on all the retail book, going to be able to efficiently participate in that if they so choose, as opposed to going individually, getting access to, like I say, around about 90 Hex HSI stakes that are over 1 million. So Hex in them. So we're talking about tens of thousands of T-shares. It's going to be a lot of fun to see this play out. And yeah, like over 6,000 HSIs up for grabs, but like I say, about 90 of them are really valuable. Now, there are some bit of wild card out there, like the SA account and bidding structures. So we'll see what happens in that zone in terms of the actual bidding. That's sort of over here in terms of the auction bonanza. But yeah, pretty fun. So first of all, short term, I think we can get into the golden pocket here between 4,800 and 5,000. And of course, then after the interest rate rise, if we haven't made that at that stage, I think we could really have a go at the local high of 6,300 to the all-time high of 7,300. And I think we have a good chance of blowing past that with the right momentum. So we've got 3 weeks to do it. And of course, between the 2nd and the 13th, that is about 10 days. So easily we could blow past this all-time high. And like I say, I think the top of the target at the moment, if I was to, have my middle of the road sort of excitement with what's going on, would be this 1.68 golden ratio of 8,649. Pretty exciting. And then on the upside, of course, the potential chance of breaking the 10,000 and getting up to the 2.618 Fibonacci of 12,435. Obviously, this is not investment advice, but those are kind of some of the numbers that seem to be stacking up here, and we have a beautiful uptrend in play. We're right on top of the Bollinger Bands. We've got 3 weeks to go. Exciting. And the only real hurdles there, how the market contends with the federal funds rate. But I have a feeling that Hedron may stand out on its own with the excitement of the HSI auctions coming up. Well, that's a bit of a quick summary. Hope you guys like that. Don't forget, feel free to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, leave any comments that you have in the chat there as well. Look forward to responding to those. Until next time, take care, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. See you in Discord. Bye for now.